Hi everyone, welcome back. And if you are new here, welcome. I discuss all kinds of different photography subjects here, mostly focused on the artistic aspect of it and less on the technical aspect. So today I want to teach you how to easily create a zine and therefore give life to your images in a different way than posting them online. So let's directly start with the first step. The first step is that you need to select your images. So for a start, I recommend going with not too many images to facilitate the selection process. You can, for example, start with around 20 images, which is plenty enough. So in my case, I selected images from a project in which I shot street photography without showing faces. I selected around 50 photos, printed them as very small images, and over some days, I eliminated most of them and came up with a sequencing I like. Once you have selected your images and sequenced them physically, like on a table or something, the goal is to translate this digitally in InDesign. I recommend using the soft proof function in Adobe Lightroom to edit the photos with an idea of how they will look like once printed on the paper you choose. Some trial and error is needed to obtain the right colors, contrast and brightness. Once your InDesign file is ready, you can simply print the zine by using the print booklet function in InDesign. Regarding the paper, any kind can be used, but if you want a bit of a more upscale look, I recommend using a paper that's decently thick. I personally used Epson inkjet photo quality paper, the 140 gram per square meter one, and I was happy with the result. And also it goes without saying that you should make sure to use double-sided paper. If you are on a tight budget, any printer and any paper can work, even the one from your office. The goal is to give some physicality to your work and not to create the next award-winning zine. Once you printed all your images, cut the bleed off by following the trim lines. Then fold the paper. You can use a ruler or anything sturdy to give it a strong fold. The next step is to make holes through the paper. In my case, I did 5 holes to ensure a firm binding, but you can also do 3 holes only. The next step is to choose a thread to bind the zine. For that choice, you are quite free. I recommend using a waxed one for a more sturdy look, but regarding the color and so on, it depends on the way you want your zine to look. If you want it a bit more subtle, you can go for a low-key color, like brown or white, something that will not pop off too much. In my case, since a lot of images in the zine have red accents, I decided to coordinate that and use a red thread. Make sure to cut it long enough, ideally twice the length of your spine. To bind the zine, you must start by putting the thread through the middle hole and then make sure to make it go through each hole and back to the middle at the end. I'm sorry if that's unclear, but I hope the video helps. If not, feel free to insult me in the comments. Make sure to fasten the thread as tightly as you can. This ensures that images spreading over double pages won't have a wide gap between them. You can then cut the thread or leave it hanging depending on the style you want to give to your zine. So that's it, you have now made a zine and you escaped from the digitality of images. As you can see, it's not that hard to make one and it will clearly reward you with a lot of pleasure. It's much more interesting to look at your work in a printed form rather than in an online post. It's also a good way to present your work to friends or to other photographers when you meet them. Anyways, if you enjoyed the video, please give it a like. If you are not subscribed yet, I recommend that you subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching, bye bye.